So, good morning, students. In last class, we have covered or we have finished the application of linear programming problem. Now, next is the goal programming. This is also somewhat linear program only. But in this, we have the earlier whatever the problem you have seen. There we have only the one objective function. But in the goal programming, we have the multiple objective function. First change is in the goal programming, we have more than one objective function which we have to optimize. Thereafter, those objective functions are conflicting in nature. Conflicting in nature means both simultaneously cannot be optimized. If one is optimizing, then another will be away, another is going away from the optimization. If you are concentrating to optimize the other one, then first one will not optimize. So we have the conflicting one. For example, sometimes we have the means, if we assume that there is a cost and profit. So if you want to increase the cost, then you have to increase the cost also, right? If you want to means, but in actual what you want to increase the profit with minimum cost. So but here we have the more than one objective function, but both are conflicting in nature. So that come in the goal programming. So here we have the multiple and conflicting objective function. So for that purpose, instead of computing the optimal solution, when we have more than one and conflicting objective function, so we instead of determining the optimal solution, we prefer to compute the compromise solution. Compromise solution means from the all objective function, we are least away. If we are not able to determine the optimal solution for the all objective function, so what we will do, we prefer to determine the solutions in such a way, or compromising solution in such a way, that we are least away from the all objective functions. Clear this part? So here we compute the compromise solution based on relative importance of each objective function. If particular objective function has more weight or more priority, then we try to optimize first that objective function, and in and iteratively we proceed for the other objective function. So here we have to determine, instead of the determining the optimal objective function, we determine the compromise solution. So there are the two methods for solving the goal program. First one is the weight method, right? And another one is the primitive method. So in the weight method, we form the single objective function. By seeing the weights, we from the multiple objects, we try to convert using the corresponding weights, we try to convert into the single objective function. So here single objective function consisting the weighted sum. Here we form the single objective function from the multiple objective, right? By taking the weighted sum of the goals. And the another one is the primitive method. In this, we optimize the goal in the order of priority. In the primitive method, we optimize the objective function in order of the priority. The objective function which has higher priority, that will be optimized first, and thereafter we optimize the lesser priority, and at the last we optimize the least priority objective function or least priority goal. So here one means one at a time, starting with the highest priority goal, terminating with the lowest priority. But when we are using the primitive method, so never we degrade the higher priority objective function. Means to optimize lower priority, never we degrade the higher priority objective function. So never degrading the quality of the higher priority goal. So solution using either by the weight method, right, or by the primitive method, the solution may or may not be the different, depending over what are the goal, what are the weights, what are the priority. Accordingly, we have the different answer. So, and we cannot say that which method is superior. Both methods are superior to each other depending over the methodology you are using. But we cannot say that the primitive method is superior to the weight method or weight method is superior to the primitive method. Only the advantage of the weight method over the primitive method is that whatever the knowledge you have about the simplex method, that you can directly apply. That is little easy one. Weight method computationally little easy. That is the advantage, computational advantage only. But by result, we cannot say this method is always better than the other method. So here, the solution using the weight method is just like any ordinary linear program. The primitive method entails the additional algorithmic consideration that are very much within the realm of the simplex method. So whatever the simplex method till now you have studied, all the things you have to apply for solving the goal programming. The proposed two methods are different because they do not generally produce the same solution. Neither method, however, is superior to other because each technique is designed to satisfy certain decision making preference. So depending over whether you are solving by the weights, you are giving the weights to each objective function, or you are giving the priority to particular or each objective function. Accordingly, we have to select the method. So to understand the first we try to understand the goal programming, right? So first we see how to formulate the goal program, then after we will go with the methodology for solving or techniques to solve the goal program. So to understand the goal programming, let us have this question I will use 2 3 times. So the Northwest Shopping Mall or NW Shopping Mall conducts special events to attract the potential patron. So means there is one mall to attract the customers. They um, try to arrange the special events to attract the customer. Among events that seem to attract teenagers, so their customers can be either teenagers or young middle aged group or the senior citizen. Means customers can be of any age. They can be teenagers, they can be the middle age, they can be of senior citizen. The two most popular are band concert and art show. So event can be the either the band concert or the art show. Their cost per presentation are $1,500 and $3,000 respectively. If you conduct one band show, the Northwest Shopping Mall has to pay $1,500. If it is preferring to conduct the art shows, then it has to pay the $3,000. Total strict annual budget allocated to two events is 15,000. So maximum budget is 15,000. So when we are talking about the budget, so when we have to invest something, so it is not necessary always all the amounts we have to invest. In the mid semester examination, there is a one question that we have the 1 million. So it is not necessary always all the 1 million we have to invest, right? Many people has written that x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 plus x5 is equal to 1 million. That is the wrong. That should be the less than equal to 1 million, right? If we have some amount, we have the freedom to use either complete amount or lesser than that, but more than that we cannot use. The mall manager estimate the attendance as follows. So when we have the two events, so band concert if you are conducting one band concert, so it is estimated that around 200 teenagers will be attracted and 100 young middle aged people are attracted, right? And there is no attraction among the senior citizen. Similarly, if there is one art show, So there is no attraction among the teenager. Around 400 young middle aged people will be attracted and around 250 senior citizen will be attracted. The manager has to set the minimum goal. Now they want the objective, right? Objective, they are deciding that minimum goal of 1000, 1200, 800 for attendance of teenagers, young middle aged group and the seniors group. So means objective to attract, right? Attract the young should be at least 1000, right? Among the means it should be the among the at least 1000 young teenagers customers. Similarly, for the middle age and senior citizen, it should be the 1200 and the 800. Formulate the problem as a goal programming. So in this case, here it is given to you the goal, objective, that at least that much customers of different ages must be attracted by conducting the two events, right? Two events, band concert and the art shows. So for this, what we can do, let us assume how many band concert and how many art shows you have to conduct. So let x1 and x2 are number of band concert per year and number of art shows per year, right? So in this case, if you do as a linear program, so what is the cost of the band concert? Cost of band concert is 1500. You are conducting x1 band concert per year, so total expenditure will be the 1500 into x1 plus 3000 for the art shows, and number of art shows you are conducting in a year is the x2, so 3000 x2, and total budget you have around the 15,000. Then after the number of teenagers attracted by band concert and the art shows are 200 and 0. So it means total number of teenagers attracted, right, will be the 200 x1 only. Similarly, middle age by the both will be the 100 and 400, so it will be the 100 x1 plus 400 x2, and senior citizen will is a senior citizen a 250 x2, right? So we want this number must be greater than equal to 1000. This number must be greater than equal to 1200. This number is must be greater than equal to 800, and here x1 comma x2 greater than equal to 0. Now in this case, these are given as a goal instead of the constraint. These are given as a goal. Goal may be achievable, may not be achievable. When it is achievable, when 200x1 are 200x1 is the more than 1000 or more than 1000, then we say it is achievable, otherwise it is not achievable. So when the 200, now please concentrate on board. So when 200x1 greater than equal to 1000, which variable you have to add? 200x1 greater than equal to 1000, then which variable you have to add? Surplus, right? So here, if you make it as a is equal to, if you make it as a is equal to, you have to add the surplus, right? You have to add the surplus. When we are saying that adding the surplus, it means we are subtracting the surplus variable. There, surplus variable always we have to subtract. Then after, by chance you are not able to achieve your goal. What is the meaning of this line? 200 x1 is less than equal to 1000, then only you are not able to achieve the goal. It means to make the equation form, what we have to add? Slack variable. So there you have to add the slack variable, right? Similarly, when we make it as is equal to, here we have the S2 minus minus S2 plus. When the S2 plus is positive, when the S2 plus is positive, goal are when we have achieved the goal, right? Either 0 or positive when we achieve the goal. When the S1 is positive, when we have the sort of the goal, both simultaneously cannot be positive. Both simultaneously cannot be positive. Either should be the positive, right? Both simultaneously can be 0. Both simultaneously can be 0. When it is a 0, when 200 x1 exactly equal to the 1000, then we say it is the s1 minus s1 plus, both are the 0, but both simultaneously cannot be the positive. Similarly, for the third goal, s3 minus s3 plus, and here we have the is equal to. Now these are can you recall what are these variables? Earlier also in the simplex method we have used this type of the things. Unrestricted, to represent the unrestricted variable,
Sir,
we,
I had a doubt over here. Sir, aren't slack and surplus variable like defined to be always positive?
yes,
So how did we take the surplus variable over here to be unrestricted?
I'm not saying that surplus variable is unrestricted. I'm saying that this is the s1 minus minus s1 plus. I am saying that, let's say it is the s1. So this
Right.
s1 is the urs. It may be negative, it may be positive, it may be 0. I'm not saying that it is a urs. It look like a urs. I
Okay.
have used the two variables. I have used the two variables in the simplex method to represent the URS. We have used the two non-negative variable like this. So same analogous we have here. I'm not saying that S1 plus or S1 minus are URS. They are strictly non-negative. They are strictly non-negative.
Sir, normally what we would have done in the simplex method is we would have written to this inequality as 200x1 minus s1 equals to 1000, right?
Actually, that was the constraint. Here these are the objective.
Okay. So
They
here we have
here
multiple.
we want there must be at least 1000 teenagers. That is
Okay.
our objective, not a constraint,
Okay, understood, sir.
right? So now here
Sir,
the,
objective function never has that equal to sign, right? Or this entire 200x1 plus s1 minus
no,
minus
no,
s1.
I'm coming. I just to wait for a moment. You just
All
wait.
right, sir. All
Then
right,
I
sir.
will clear your doubt. Then I will clear your doubt. Actually, presently I have not completed the formulation, so that's why you are facing that problem, right? So these are nothing. These are known as the deviational variable. These are known as the deviational variable. Here we do not say it is these are the slack or surplus variable. We say it is the deviational above, deviational below from the objective. Deviational above from the objective means we have more customers than the required, than the means than the estimated or than the demand. right? Deviational below means we have the less customer than the required. So this you can say that this is the deviational below variable, and this is known as the deviational above variable. Now in starting I have said you what is now in the what we have the objective. We want the compromise solution. Compromise solution means we want the minimum deviation from the objective. If we are not able to achieve all the objective, then we want the minimum deviation from the objective. So if S1 plus, S2 plus, S3 plus are positive, there is any harm? If S1 plus, S2 plus, S3 plus are positive, is there any harm? You have already achieved the goal. Whatever the goal you have, you have set your goal, you have achieved. When you have the problem, when S1 minus is the positive, when S1 minus is at the positive level, or Si minus is at the positive level, so that positive level must be minimum. So in that case we write the minimum of S1 minus, minimum of S2 minus, minimum of S3 minus. Means if we are deviating from the objective, so that deviation must be minimum. So here we have the goal 1, this is the goal 2, and this is the goal 3, subject to following constraints. So some goals you may achieve, some goals you may not achieve. So that we have the compromise solution. In the compromise solution only we want the deviation from the objective must be minimum. So whatever the deviational you are facing, that you have to minimize. Online now clear?
Yes, sir. So these three are goals are similar to say the objective functions in the LPP
Yes,
programming.
these are the now goal programming. Not we can say exactly similar, right? But these are the goal in the simplex method. Multiple goals. Now we say these are the multiple goals.
All right, sir.
So here we have the goal 1. When we in the exam we give the formulation, so you have to write the final formulation only. So here goal 1 will be the minimize S1 minus, minimize S2 minus, and minimize S3 minus, subject to the constraint 15x1 plus 3000 x2 less than equal to 15,000, less than equal to 15,000. This is the 15,000, right? Subject and 2x1 plus s1 minus s1 plus, it is the is equal to, now it is the is equal to 1000, is equal to 1200, is equal to 800, and all the variables must be greater than equal to 0. Clear? How to write the goal? So the manner in which goal programming finds the compromise solution to convert each inequality into the flexible goal. Flexible goal means you have to add s1 minus, subtract s1 plus, in which corresponding constraint may be violated if necessary. So constraint may be violated. So in goal constraint we add both deviational variable, but in decision constraint only slack or surplus variable are added. Both cannot be minimized. Means we cannot say that minimize s1 minus, minimize s1 plus. Either of them you have to minimize. Clear this part? Then after, goal constraint can be violated, but decision constraint can never be violated. Means For example, in this question, these are the goal constraint, this is the decision constraint. So decision constraint you have to satisfy. Goal constraint can be violated. Means what is our goal constraint? 200 x1 greater than equal to 1000. That can be violated. You are not able to achieve the 1000 teenagers. That can be violated. But more than $15,000 you cannot spend. Your expenditure cannot be more than 15,000. The good compromising solutions seek to minimize the amount by which each goal is violated. Means the good compromise is that if it is violating, goal is violating, that violation should be or deviation should be minimum. Violation should be minimum. Let us have another question. Question number 3 from your book. Ojak University admission. It is readable, na? Or little small? मैक्सिमाइज में होता नहीं है यार, सुनो इसकी ऊपर वाली लाइन चली जाती है ना फिर। एक just you concentrate on the first line. Ojak University admission office is processing the freshman application for upcoming academic year. So there is the admission situation in Ojak University. The application fall into 3 categories: in state, means from that state only; out of state, from all over the country; and international student outside the country. The male female ratio for in state and out of state applicant are 1:1 and 3:2 respectively. For international student, the corresponding ratio is 8:1. So it is given to you male female ratio for the 3 type of the students. The American college test, there is one entrance test, ACT. Score is an important factor in accepting the new student. Statistics gathered by university indicate that average ACT score for in-state, out-of-state, and international students are 27, 26, and 23 respectively. So that is the cutoff. Average cutoff. The Committee on Admission has established the following desirable goal for the new freshman class. So these are the 5 goals. These are the 5 goals set by the administration. These are the 5 goals set by the administration. What are the goals? Incoming class is at least 1200 freshmen. Means total admission must be at least 1200, right? Total admission must be at least 1200. That is one goal. Average ACT score for all incoming students is at least 25. Means from the score of in-state, score of out-of-state, and score of the international students, the average ACT score must be at least 25. International student constitute at least 10% of the incoming class out of the total. International student must be at least 10%. The female-male ratio is at least 3:4 for all in-state, out-of-state, and international. Out-of-state students constitute at least 20% of the incoming class. Formulate the problem as a goal programming model. Right? Formulate the problem as a goal programming model. Clear question? So here we have the 3 type of the students. So let's say x1, x2, x3 are the number of in-state, out-of-state, and international students in a year. Let's say x1, x2, x3 are in-state freshmen, out-of-state freshmen, x3 international freshmen. So what is given to you? A. What is the first constraint or first objective, first goal? That x1 plus x2 plus x3 must be more than equal to 1200. At least 1200. So more than equal to 1200. Clear? Now, what is the second objective? The average ACT score of all the students is at least 25. So how we compute the average? What is the average of in state? That is the 27. So total score will become the 27 into x1. If average is the 27, total number of admission is x1. So total score will become 27 into x1 plus here we have 26 x2, 26 x2 plus 23 x3. So that will be the total score. If you have to take the average, so x1 plus x2 plus x3, and it is given to you, it should be at least 25. It should be at least 25. Clear? Then after we have the international student constitute at least 10%. So international student means x3. It should be the 10% of the total x1 plus x2 plus x3. It should be at least 10% means 0.1. Either you write the 10 upon 100 or 0.1. The female male ratio is at least 3:4. So how many see in the question they have given the male female ratio, right? And here they have asked female male ratio. So you have to take care. So in this case, uh, from the in state ratio of the male female is given to you 1:1. In case of out of state, the male female ratio is given to you as a 3:2. So it will be contribution will be the 2/5, 3/5. Similarly, for the international student, male female ratio is given to you as a 8:1. 8:1. So here number of females will become half x1 plus 2 by 5 x2 plus 1 by 9 x3, and number of males will become 1 by 2 x1 plus 3 by 5 x2 plus 8 by 9 x3. This female male ratio must be at greater than equal to 3:4. So 3:4 means 3/4. 3/4 means 0.75. So it is 3/4. So it must be 3/4. Clear this part? How to write this? Then the fifth one, out of state student constitute at least 20%. So 20% means this is the out of state x2 of total x1 plus x2 plus x3 greater than equal to 20%. That is the point. So whenever I have taught you the formulation, at that time I have said you always write all the variables on one side, all the constant on other side, right? So when we solve, so you will get, please don't see presently this one. Right? So you will get the x1 plus x2 plus x3 greater than equal to 1200, 2x1 plus x2 minus 2x3, right? X3 greater than equal to 0, minus 0.1 x1 minus 0.1 x2 plus 0.9 x3 greater than equal to 0, 1 by 8 minus 1 by 8 x1 minus 1 by 20 x2 minus 5 by 9 x3 greater than equal to 0, and minus 0.2 x1 plus 0.8 x2 minus 0.2 x3 greater than equal to 0. Now, when these constraints are treated as an objective, so you have to add the deviational variable, right? You have to add the deviational variable. So deviational variable means whether the goal is achievable or not. If it is achievable, so maybe overachieved, maybe exactly achieved, 0 or positive. If it is underachievable, then less, negative. So in this case, In this case, where we have the deviation, when we make the greater than equal to equal to, where we have the deviation. Yes, so minimize S1 minus, minimize S2 minus, minimize S3 minus, minimize S4 minus, and minimize S5 minus. Clear this part? So here we have the goal, right? G1, G2, G3, G4, G5. Minimize of S1 minus, minimize of the S2 minus, minimize of the S3 minus, minimize of S4 minus, minimize of the S5 minus. For such question, means you have to means concentrate which one is the decision constraint, which one is the goal constraint. In the goal constraint, you have to add the divisional variable. Then out of the select divisional variable, or you can say divisional below variable, or surplus, or divisional above variable, right, can be the should be the minimize. Clear this part? Let us have another question. Is there any doubt online?
No, sir.
Now, this is very important question. Question number 4. Circle K farm consumes 3 tons of special feed daily. Means that much is the limit. Feed a mixture of limestone, corn, and soybean meal must satisfy the following nutritional requirement. So, means in the farm they are consuming special feed for animals, right? 3 tons, and uh, the feed nutritional requirements are following: calcium at least 0.8%, but not more than 1.2%. That should be the our nutritional requirement from the used or consumed feed. Protein at least 20%, and fiber at most 5%. So what are these? These are the goal. This we want as a nutritional requirement in consuming the feed. Now in the feed these must be there. So following table gives nutritional content of the feed ingredient. So in the means in the feed ingredient are limestone, corn, and soybean. It consists the calcium, protein, and fiber. This much amount. This much amount. So here the 00 denote means limestone consists only the calcium, not traces, and there is no traces of the protein and fiber. Similarly, in the corn, we have the 0.001% of the calcium, 0.09% pound of the pound of the protein, and 0.02 pound of the fiber. Then after soybean, in the soybean we have the less calcium, but high content of the protein, right? The formulate the problem as a goal program model and state your opinion regarding the applicability of the goal programming to the situation. Now you have to say that whether the goal programming is applicable in such kind of the problem or not, that they want to ask. Question is clear? So here what you are using. So here let's say you are consuming x1 amount of the limestone, x2 amount of the corn, and x3 amount of the uh, soybean per day. Just you make the change because we have the solution here. Let's say this is the 6. You make this change. Let's say it is the 6 because we have the solution of this problem also with 6. So X1 plus X2 plus X3 total consumption must be 6 ton. Total consumption of the feed must be 6 ton, at least 6 ton. So X1 plus X2 plus X3 greater than or equal to 600. Now the constraint, now uh, total calcium, let's say it is the calcium, this constraint for the calcium, this constraint for the protein, and this constraint for the fiber. So how much calcium you are getting? So you are getting the 0.38 pound from the limestone, 0.001 from the corn, and 0.002 from the soybean. And requirement are at least 0.8% and at most 1.2%. So here total total calcium you are getting 0.38 into x1 plus 0.01 x2 plus 0.02 x3. That must be at most 12.2%, 1.2%, right, of the total, of the total. Similarly, it must be at least 0.08% of the total. So both constraints are corresponding to calcium. Then after, second goal is at least 22% protein, and here you are getting the protein from the corn and the soybean only. So it is from the corn, it is the 0.9 into x2, from the soybean it is the 0.5 x3, and that must be at least 22%. At least 22% means that must be greater than equal to 0.22 of the total, 0.22 of the total. And 0.02 x2. Now if you talk about the soybean meal, so soybean meal you are getting from the corn, no, uh, not for soybean, fiber you are getting from the either corn or the soybean. So in this case, when we have the corn and soybean, so total fiber you are getting will be the 0.02 x2 plus 0.08 x3, and fiber fiber must be at most 5%. So at most 5% means less than equal to 0.05 of the total. Clear this part formulation? Now what we have to do? First we have to write this constraint in such a way all the variables on one side and all the constant on the other side. First we have seen the basic formulation. Now, so when we solve, don't see this one. So initially it is greater than equal to, it is less than equal to, it is greater than equal to, it is greater than equal to, it is less than equal to, right? These are the goal constraint. There is no decision constraint. Now we want the least deviation from the objective. So least deviation for the first constraint will be this, means consumption cannot be less than 6,000. Consumption must be more than 6,000. So here minimize S1 minus. When I am saying that total calcium cannot be more than 1.2%, right? So what is the deviation? When we have the more calcium, right? That is the deviation. So more calcium, it means in that case when we have the more calcium, when we have the S2 plus. S2 plus. That is the deviation above than the required one. So here we have to minimize the S2 plus, right? Calcium cannot be less than 0.08%. So that is the deviation will be the S3 minus. So minimize S3 minus. Protein cannot be 22%. So cannot be 22% means, right? It is the at least. So S4 minus S4 plus, no? S4 minus, right? It is the S4 minus. So S4 minus we have to subtract, and at most 5% of the fiber. So its deviation will be the S5 plus. So it is not necessary always Si minus we have to minimize. According to situation, we have to decide whether we have to minimize the Si minus or Si plus. So when we have constraint of less than type, then you have to minimize Si plus, right? When we have the constraint of this type, then you have to minimize the Si minus. That is the thumb rule, right? So always first you write the constraint using the inequality in rough. Thereafter in fair you write the goal constraint in is equal to form with proper objective function. So that is the concluding remark here. Clear this part? Online clear?
Yes, sir.
So now, so first we have formulated the problem as a goal programming that we have done. Now in the second part they have asked, state your opinion regarding the applicability of the goal programming to this situation. Whether the goal programming is applicable, we should apply. So in the goal programming, what is the harm? 1.2 or can be the less than point, means if we have the nutritional requirement, in that we cannot compromise. There, if there is any situation where compromission is not allowed, in that case we cannot apply the goal programming. Wherever we have the situation of the compromise, there you can apply the goal programming. Otherwise you cannot apply the goal programming. So this problem is not suitable for the goal programming. So it is written, goal programming is not suitable for the problem because the nutritional requirements must be met. There is no chance for the malnutrition. However, goal programming can assist in deciding which nutrition requirement are demanding from the standpoint of the optimization. The information may then be used to decide the alternative nutritional requirement can be specified uh, in a manner that does not adversely impact the cost minimization. So with this only we can get the help that whatever the limit you have already set, that is in that limit whether you can achieve the goal or not. If you are not able to achieve, you have to reset your limits. That help it can give you. But in such a problem, goal programming is not advisable. So in next class, I will start the methodology, weight method, and the over these three problem only I will solve. Right? Three formulation I have done. So only over these three problem, I will apply the weight method and the primitive method. So in next class, we continue with the this only. So that's all from my side. Thank you. Online, any problem? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, can you tell us by when we can get our papers, midterm papers?
Yeah, by this end of the week, I will check. Then I will return in next week.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.